Welcome to Elite Authors, where we showcase the incredible stories behind some of the most talented individuals and authors in the industry. At Elite Authors, we believe every author has a unique story to tell, and we're passionate about sharing those stories with the world. So join us as we explore the lives and the works of some of the most talented and individual inspiring authors of our time. Today we have Righteous Rhema, the author of
Mhm.
Gaslit, Escaping the Narcissistic Pit. Welcome to Elite Authors, Righteous.
Hey, you all. Thanks, y'all. Happy to be here and to share about my book and my journey as an author.
We're absolutely excited and thank you so much for being here. Before we even get started, first, just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and why you decided to write your book.
Okay, so I'm a Christian and I love to help people. As simple as it. Christian or not, I'm a Christian and I love to help all people of all types, all backgrounds. And I just like to help people and I love to, study the word and study self-help books and, watch those YouTube videos about how to have healthy relationships and non-toxic relationships. So, I'm a student now. I'm in Trinity School now to get my doctorate in pastoral counseling. Got my undergrad in child development at UT Knoxville, my master's in Christian studies. So I always been in circles where I want to learn how to help people, how to understand people better, how to just help people have a better quality of life. So, that's just a little bit about who I am.
That's good. That's good. I love it. First, I love that you started off that you were a Christian. So thousand points for that.
Yes.
And then, helping people because really that's what we do. We, as
Mhm.
Christians, we're supposed to help others. So I applaud you for that. But before we go on, tell us about a little bit about your name, Righteous Rhema. How did that name come about?
Okay. So the name is kind of a passive aggressive type of name. I would say things were kind of like some things my pastor didn't care for. My pastor was my friend on Facebook. I would say something kind of controversial, and I would sign it Righteous Rhema. So it was kind of like I didn't say it, Pastor. She said it. So it was kind of like it was like I was high and I would say things. I knew things that needed to be said. Some of the members I was, the church I was a member of needed to hear it, but I
Yeah.
didn't want to get in trouble with the pastor. So I was like, okay, Missy, Righteous Rhema, and the word right, it's like righteous. So I'm writing about righteous concepts, righteous ideas, but it's in physical writing. And
That's
then
good.
rhema is more like verbal, it's more like a download from God or like a word fresh from heaven. So I was covering the written part of the word and just the spoken part of the word. So righteous rhema kind of covered both of that, and it kept me safe from my pastor's my pastor's wrath. So yes.
That's good. That's good. Listen, we all need to grow up somehow, right? In some way. So when those moments come, we just have to say ouch, apply it, say ouch, and keep it moving.
Yes.
The one thing I say is that no matter where you are in your Christian walk, in your Christian journey, you never get so far advanced that
Mm-hmm.
that you stop outgrowing, that you stop growing. So anytime you stop growing, that means that you think
Trouble.
you're God, right? And you,
Yes.
you
You
shovel.
it's always
You
room to
know,
grow, always room to learn and grow and stuff.
always, always. So even our pastors and elders of the church is, of course, um, we have to grow. So thank you. I love that story, and of course, applaud you for going to school and obtaining your doctorates and helping people, helping as many people as you can. And in your book, Gaslit, you help many people. So you talk about the narcissistic pit, and can you tell us what inspired the idea for your book?
Yeah, so it's the movie 300. It's a scene in the beginning of movie 300 where the main character he kicks a guy into a pit and says, "This is Sparta." And so that the imagery of that pit, that deep, dark, narrow pit, always stuck with me. And so when I was dealing with different toxic people in my church, my family, relationships, work, I was like, this feels like I'm in a deep, dark, lonely pit. So it reminded me of the imagery I saw from the movie. I was like, it's like inescapable, is so deep, like you need help. It's like no light can get down that deep. So it just that image always stuck with me from that movie. And so when I wrote the book, I was like, I want to call it. I knew I wanted the word gaslit in there, but I didn't know the subtitle. And I was like, Missy, when you're not gaslit anymore, you are escaping the narcissist pit. You're coming out of the depths of the pit. You're seeing more light, fresh air. You see things, and you can live again. So the title came because I was thinking about how when you're in a relationship with a toxic person, you feel like you're in a deep, dark, lonely pit of despair without any hope of escape. And without, God or grace or somebody else putting their hand down there to lift you up, you're going to get out that pit by yourself.
Right. And your book, absolutely, absolutely. I can't wait for you guys to read it. It definitely pulls you out of the pit. It's definitely reader friendly. It's a great read. It's a pretty thick book, but it's definitely what, 300 and some odd pages.
Yeah, it's 267 pages
160.
in this font at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hold that book up again so they can see it.
This is the hardcover.
There you
Um,
go. Oh my
it's a
goodness.
stop. It's a solid book. It's very solid. So yes.
Yes, yes, indeed. And tell us, hold it up one more time because I see a little seal on there. What's that seal about? What is
Yes,
that?
that seal says Amazon #1 bestseller. So I am
Wow.
so I know that would not have been possible that Elite publication, like the team at Elite, like it would not have been possible. The book sales, yes, people bought the book, thanks people about the book, but Elite publications made this possible. So yes.
That's good. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. So, what have you been doing to, as far as we have you here, what else have you been doing as far as marketing?
So, I just started TikTok. I got on TikTok like a week after I published my book, and TikTok has really good algorithms. So,
Mhm.
you'll post something and you get like a lot of views really quick. So, I've actually sold some books just from TikTok. I do a 60-second TikTok video. I pick
Okay.
an excerpt from my book, do a 60-second excerpt on the book, and I get like, oh, I want to buy your book, whatever. So TikTok has really been helpful. Of course, people I know about the book, I buy copies and have them in my car. I have them at work. I bought them to school. I'm to school. I bought them to my job. To my school. I have my coworkers bought the book. So just kind of letting people know what the book's about on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. So just kind of it's not, you can't just like I was saying in the previous interview, you can't just birth the baby, you have to raise the baby. The baby is not going to sell itself. You have to get the baby legs and help it walk and let people see the baby, have to, sip and see. And so, making
Yeah,
sure
so many
I'm
people.
always, yes. Mhm.
That's so true. That's so true. You have to watch it grow up. A lot of people, publish a book and they think that that's it. I've done it, but it takes work because if you don't, then the book won't sell. You have to make sure that you're constantly doing marketing, constantly putting energy into it and time in order for that book to sell. So,
Mhm.
what's your favorite part about being an author?
So it was one of my classmates, I think from middle school. He comments. I put my book on there and I said, "Hey, I'm Reno Reese, #1 Amazon bestseller status in 10 categories." And so he comments and he said, "I can't believe somebody I went to school with is an author." And so this just touched me like, wow, like I didn't know people, I saw people really esteem writing books because some
Yeah.
people don't even want to write a 20-page paper for school. And so many people are
Right.
just like they're just really a lot of people are very inspired. I didn't know it's gonna inspire people. I knew the conscience of the book would inspire people, but some people just having a book written and published, it inspires so many of my classmates and friends and whatnot. So I just feel like I love that I'm inspiring people to get on their journey and share their story and go for their dreams. So that's really cool that even if they're reading the book at all, people are inspired just by a book being written.
Yeah, yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So, if you're watching this, you're thinking about becoming an author, this is your time to kind of think it, mull it over, and take that next step. I know some of us have started writing. Righteous, how long did it take you to write your book?
This book here, I think I started around like November 2019. It was actually a journal, and then it evolved into a book. So I was just journaling. You journal every so often. You don't journal every day, but you journal every so often. And then I just saw it started to evolve, and I went from like I mentioned before. I was like, I meet my statements, and it went to we, us, y'all
Uh-huh.
statements. And I said, Kimmy, this is not just for you. This is for the world. So
Right.
I started to change the language, and I was started saying like, so I started doing more stuff. Help. I said, Mr. Help is being a book about me just hidden in my dresser drawer for the next 20 years. Why not flip it? Why not use it? Why not, use it to help other people out and put it in a, self-help book format. So
Absolutely.
I started in September 2019 and, published it in early 2023. So
There you
it took a
go.
few years.
And when you wrote and you journaled, I know there's plenty of ways to journal. A lot of people journal pen to paper. Other people use an app on their phone. How did you write your book? Was it pen to paper?
Yeah, I did pen to paper. I had the same everything was in this one little pink little journal. And every few days I would get like a revelation or a breakthrough. And I was like, I need to write this down. And I would write stuff down. And then, so some stuff in my journal didn't make it to the book. There may be like the uncut version in a later book or something. But the stuff that did make it, it came from I had one little pink journal and it all came from there.
That's good. That's good. There's so many different ways to write. Righteous, she wrote in her journal, pen to paper. But some people, if you want to go and write on the go, you can actually use your cell phone. Everyone has their cell phone. Everyone,
Mhm.
90% of the population, fun fact, has some kind of smartphone. So you can actually write on the go. You can get out your notepad. You can do speech to text if you're not a big
Mhm.
texter or writer on your phone. There are so many different ways that you can actually write, and writing is the first step. So, if I can ask this, you have your book, you wrote it, it's out, it's an Amazon #1 bestseller. That is so amazing. You're inspiring people worldwide. What do you want readers to gain from your book?
I want readers to just know that to trust their own mind. That's the like gaslighting is talking about people who feel like they're down in their mind. Like, is that right what he said to me? Is that right what they did to me? Am I going crazy? Should I not believe myself? The main thing I want people to take away is that you can trust your own mind. You can trust yourself. You know what you've been through. You know what you saw. You know what you heard. You know what you felt. Trust your mind. And when you know that this feels like I'm in a deep, dark, narrow pit, once you first acknowledge that you're in the deep, dark pit, you can begin to take the steps to get out. But if you always deny, it's not that bad. It's not so lonely. It's not so dark. It's not so dreary. If you keep denying the reality of it, you will stay in that pit. So I want people to realize that you're in a pit and to escape the pit. And then,
Absolutely.
if there's a future book, it'll talk about what to do after that point. So yes.
Gotcha, gotcha. So basically, if you know better, do better, right?
Yeah.
Get out of that pit. Get out of that pit. That's perfect. That's perfect. Would you give someone advice if they were thinking about writing a book?
Yes, I would say that if you're trying to do a self-help book like what I did, I would say try to get on the other side of your testimony. Like you write from a bitter place, it's like you're bleeding on people. So you don't want it to be like a tell-all. My mom did this, my dad did this, my brother did this, my ex-husband did this. You don't want to write from an angry, bitter place because you're bleeding on people. You want to write from the healed perspective. So right when you're already, not saying you got to be out the pit all the way, but if you're just kind of, coming out on the other end of your story, it's better to write from that place because you don't just want to communicate bitterness, you want to communicate betterness, betterment, so to speak. And so obviously if you're gonna write a self-help book, make sure you have the full revelation of what you went through, the lessons you learn, have gratitude, have, get clarity of the situation before you want to share with other people how to get out. Because if you're still in it, you can't really help them to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. That's so good. We definitely have to write from a place of healing, especially when it's God given. And what I'm
Hmm.
learning in my Christian journey is that every time God speaks, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go and tell it right then and there. It could be just for you, to get.
Hmm.
Is not always Instagrammable or social
Yes.
media shareable, right? It's for you to get and for you to understand how can he make you better, and then maybe at the appropriate time he'll give you a word, for everybody. But
Hmm.
it's definitely some things that you just kind of need to heal sometimes. Take that time to heal, and then share your journey, share your story, because like you said, you love to help. And if you did not have that mindset, I'm sure this book would have definitely been in a different direction,
Yes.
so yeah, definitely. That was a good point. Thank you for that. So, guess let's hold that book up again. Gaslit. We know that is a #1. That is a beautiful looking book. And what inspired your concept for the cover?
So the publisher, she gave me three ideas. Gave me three ideas, and this one I thought was better. I like this one best because it had a light on the very top. So it showed the darkness of the pit, this plain, nothing there, bareness, dark, dreary. You can't really see too far. And you see at the very top, you see light. So it's like there's hope. You're not gonna just be in the pit forever. You're gonna get out of that pit if you use the tools that you can glean from people who have escaped it. And I think one such tool is my book.
That's good. So, where can viewers purchase your book?
So you can purchase my book on Amazon. Just look up Gaslit, Escaping the Narcissist Pit. Or you can go to my website, www.righteousrhema.com. Also, it's linked on, Facebook through Equid. So yes, you can reach through Facebook, Righteous Rhema on Facebook, or my website, or Amazon.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you so much for coming on Elite Authors. Thank you guys so much, the audience, for tuning in today. Before we go, Righteous, is there any final words you'd like to say?
Yes, if you want to follow me, I'm gonna be I do like daily 60-second videos. or 3-minute videos on TikTok, up to 10-minute videos about just different excerpts from my book and everything, and just ideas of how to help you get through a toxic relationship or situation. So yeah, TikTok. I'm Ungaslightable podcast on TikTok and on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Righteous Rhema. So you can find me there.
Awesome. There you go, guys. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share, and purchase as well. We thank you so much, Righteous. Again, thank you to the audience who's watching. Make sure that you're not just inspired, but you take that inspiration and you actually move on it. If it's your time to go ahead and write that book and start the book, make sure that you actually do it. Okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember that we're here at every top of the month of every month, and we hope to see you guys next time.
Thanks.